You know that moment when the person you've loved for half your life starts looking at you, but not really seeing you anymore? That's the kind of pain that doesn't scream. It just slowly eats away at you in silence. I never imagined I'd feel this lost after 22 years of marriage. We've been through everything: laughter, chaos, kids, bills, late night talks, and even wild adventures that made us feel young again. We were a team, a strong one. But lately, I've started to feel like a soldier fighting alone in a war we used to fight together. When I married him, I thought love would always be enough. It wasn't perfect, no marriage ever is, but we built something beautiful from the ground up. 3 kids, all neurodivergent, each with their own unique rhythm and magic. They're amazing, but they need so much patience, time, structure, energy, and I gave it all. I left my career to hold everything together while he traveled for work, chasing opportunities that kept our world financially stable. He was loyal, hardworking, and patient. I admired that, and he admired how I never quit, how I carried the weight of our world on my shoulders with grace. For years, that balance kept us alive. His work ethic, my persistence, and a bond that mixed love with passion. We had fun too, the kind of love that still had fire even after 2 decades. Our chemistry was wild, playful, even a little kinky, that we knew how to keep things exciting. It wasn't about being perfect, it was about being us, and that used to be enough. But now something has changed. I can feel it every time I reach for his hand, and he pulls it away too quickly. Every time I laugh doesn't make him smile anymore. Every time my words fall flat in a silence that used to be full of warmth. I've spent years in therapy, not because our marriage was broken, but because I wanted to grow, that I wanted to understand myself better, learn how to love with more clarity, more honesty, more peace. I worked on my mindset, my communication, my heart. I did everything I could to keep our home full of light, even when life got dark. But lately, it feels like I'm running out of light to give. He's still the same man, diligent, disciplined, the kind who goes to the gym even when he's exhausted. He says working out helps him clear his mind, helps him deal with stress. But now, it feels like it's also his way of escaping. Escaping me, escaping our home, escaping the noise that comes with being a husband, a father, a provider. And here I am, standing in the kitchen, holding everything together. The house, the kids, the bills, the meals, the laughter, everything that makes this life what it is. And yet, it's never enough. Our sex life, still alive, still full of fun, though not as often as he wants. I'm trying truly. My body's not the same anymore. Hormones, fatigue, aging, they all come knocking eventually. I take supplements, I meditate, I practice mindfulness, I try to stay in a mood. Because I know he still needs that spark. I do too. But no matter how much I try to reconnect, through touch, words, or presence, it's like something invisible stands between us. A wall I can't break through. Sometimes, I look at him when he doesn't notice. The man I fell in love with. The one who once couldn't go a day without holding me. Who used to text me from work just to say he missed me. Now he sits next to me in silence, scrolling through his phone, lost in another world. I reach for him, emotionally, physically, mentally, and every time I do, I feel him slip a little further away. And that's when the fear hits me. What if he's already gone, and I'm the only one still fighting to keep him here? The silence between us has started to feel heavier than words ever did. It's strange. How you can sleep beside someone every night and still feel like they're 1,000 miles away. He still does everything he's supposed to. He goes to work, comes home, helps with the kids when I ask. He even smiles sometimes. That polite, tired smile that doesn't reach his eyes anymore. But I can feel it. The disconnection. The way he drifts further into his own head while I stand here, trying to pull him back. I touch his arm while cooking. He doesn't pull away, but he doesn't lean in either. I try to talk about our day, our plans, the little things that used to make us laugh. Now, my words just fall into the space between us and disappear like whispers in a fog. He says he's tired, not just physically, but mentally. Tired of parenting, tired of the noise, tired of carrying so much responsibility. And the worst part, he says it like I'm not tired too. I've been running on empty for years, juggling therapy sessions, meltdowns, appointments, school meetings, bills, meals, everything that keeps our home alive. I've been the glue holding this whole world together while quietly falling apart inside. But when I say I'm tired, he hears it differently. He thinks I need a break. He thinks it's something that can be fixed with a nap or a weekend away. But it's not that simple. It's the kind of tired that lives in your bones. The kind that doesn't go away no matter how long you rest. Sometimes, I catch him staring off into the distance, like he's imagining another life .1 where there's no noise, no responsibilities, no me. Once, he even said out loud, he said, sometimes I think living alone in a small apartment sounds nice. Just like that. Simple, cold, detached. He said he didn't mean it to hurt me, that it's just a thought, that he's overwhelmed. But the words burned, because it wasn't just a thought, it was a wish. He says he doesn't want to be one more problem for me to solve. He says he knows I'm already stretched too thin, always fixing, always managing, always caring. He says, you don't need one more thing on your plate. But all I want is him, my best friend, my partner, the man who used to make me feel safe just by walking into the room. Now it feels like he's building a wall higher every day, and I'm on the outside, knocking softly, waiting for him to let me in. I keep trying. I plan small date nights, even if it's just wine in the backyard after the kids sleep. I send him little messages. I kiss his shoulder when he's working at his desk. Sometimes he smiles back. Sometimes he doesn't. Sometimes he kisses me like he used to, and for a second, it feels like nothing has changed. But then he retreats again, back into the silence. And I'm left wondering, am I the problem? I replay everything. The arguments, the quiet dinners, the half-hearted hugs. I ask myself if I've said something wrong, if I've become too much or not enough. Therapy has taught me to communicate, to listen, to be vulnerable. But how do you talk to someone who doesn't want to be talked to? How do you reach a heart heart that's already closing its doors. At night, when the house is quiet, I lie beside him, staring at the ceiling, thinking about the life we built. 22 years, 3 kids, countless memories, and now, this distance, this unbearable, invisible gap that feels wider than ever. I whisper to myself, maybe this is just a phase. Maybe he just needs time. Maybe love can still find its way back. But deep down, a part of me knows something has shifted. The man who once fought for us now seems too tired to fight at all. And I'm still here, standing in the middle of our home, holding everything together, waiting for the moment when he finally looks at me and says what I fear the most, that he's done. The night he finally said it out loud, my world didn't collapse. It just went quiet. We were sitting at the edge of the bed. The kids were asleep. The house was still, except for the hum of the refrigerator down the hall. I asked gently, are you okay? You've been distant. He sighed, that heavy sigh that comes from somewhere deep, from a place words can't reach. He said, I don't know who I am anymore. I am tired. I feel trapped. Sometimes I think maybe I'd be happier alone. And there it was. The truth I had been feeling for months, spoken out loud for the first time. I wanted to cry. I wanted to scream, but I didn't. I just sat there, frozen, breathing slowly, trying to stop my heart from breaking too loudly. I said, so where does that leave us? He shrugged. I don't know. Those 3 words hurt more than anything else. Because I don't know means maybe. It means maybe he's already gone, but not brave enough to leave. It means maybe he's still here, but not for the reasons I hoped. For a long time, I sat in that silence, staring at the man I built my whole life around. And I realized something. I can't make someone stay. No matter how much love I pour into them, no matter how much effort I give, I can't fill a heart that no longer wants to be full. That night, when he turned off the light and rolled over, I stayed awake. I thought about every version of us, the young lovers, the new parents, the exhausted partners, the best friends. And I realized maybe love changes. Maybe it doesn't end. It just shifts into something quieter, something softer, something that asks less and gives differently. I still love him. That hasn't changed. But I can't keep losing myself to save something that doesn't want saving. The next morning, I didn't ask him to stay. I made breakfast, helped the kids get ready, did the laundry, and smiled through the routine, the way I always do. But inside, something was different. For the first time in years, I stopped running, stopped trying to fix, stopped begging for scraps of affection. Instead, I sat down, really sat down, and asked myself, what do I need? What do I want? What do I deserve? And for the first time, the answer wasn't him. It was me. I realized I've spent years carrying everything, the emotional weight, the mental load, the invisible labor that keeps a family from falling apart. I carried the therapy, the self-improvement, the emotional check-ins, the spark, the forgiveness, the everything. But maybe now, it's okay to set it all down. He still comes home. We still talk. Sometimes we even laugh. He hasn't left, not physically, but emotionally, I can feel the distance. And instead of chasing after him, I've started to turn that energy inward. I go for walks by myself. I journal. I cry when I need to. I remind myself that being alone doesn't always mean being lonely. Sometimes, when he sits quietly across the room, I catch a flicker of something in his eyes, a softness, a hint of the man I fell in love with. And in those moments, I wonder if he's remembering too, all that we were, all that we built, all that we still could be. Maybe he'll find his way back. Maybe he won't. But I can't keep waiting for that maybe to save me. What I can do is keep showing up for myself, for my kids, for the life I still believe in. Because love isn't just about holding on. Sometimes love is about letting go, not of the person, but of the pain. Letting go of the idea that I have to carry everything alone. Letting go of the guilt that says if he's unhappy, it must be my fault. Letting go of the version of us that no longer fits who we become. I still believe in us, but I believe in me too. So I'm choosing to hope. Not the kind of hope that clings or pleads or breaks, but the quiet kind, the kind that breathes, that heals, that trusts life to unfold as it should. Maybe one day we'll find our way back to each other with open hearts. Or maybe we'll simply learn to love each other differently, from a distance, with respect and grace. Whatever happens next, I know this. I gave my all. I loved deeply. I stayed kind, even when it hurt. And for that, I can finally look in the mirror and say, I did enough.